Boom. Hey internets, Jon Phenom, clothing brand mentor here at you again. Had a question from a student, and I haven't been doing enough videos for my small audience, which is college students, art students, fashion students, and sometimes high school students that want to go into the fashion industry. So I'm glad to do this one. Excuse me being down dressed, by the way. I'm having like a lazy Saturday right now, but excited to do this video for you guys so you can have this content, especially for this audience. I love speaking to youth because when I didn't have many references when I was 18 and I was dead set on becoming a designer. I met Alyasha, and he was definitely the person I looked up to in terms of what I wanted to be, but it's still kind of mysterious on how I had to get there. Remember, this was pre-internet, so I couldn't Google, I couldn't YouTube anything, and I believe that's part of my inspiration for the entire channel, and just kind of giving you guys insight and information as to how to get to different places in your career in fashion. So the question, as you guys know, is the title of the video is, was it hard to get from designer to director, or director, what, hard on the DI, was it hard to get from designer to director? And so when we say director, I've held the title of art director, and then creative director, which is typically the pinnacle of that. Let's go through that a little bit. Let's take that apart a little bit. So if you want to be technical, you could start as a design intern. That's maybe the lowest I could think of off the top of my head. But it's typically junior designer, okay? At around 26, yeah. At about 26, I earned the title of senior men's director. Okay, and I'd worked at maybe 3 different labels before that, all multi-million-dollar brands. Okay, all relatively big boy brands. Okay, they're all moving units and doing seasons, etc. So senior men's director, you know, and then I owned my own brand directly after that. So whatever, you know, chief executive everything of that at that time. And then the next time I worked in-house for brands, which was Orisu, coming back from my brand not making it. It was coming back as the creative director for Orisu, and then I guess Boulevard, where I came in as the creative director, but ended up being the brand director. So I was the creative director there for the first couple months, and then there was a lot of movement in the company, and then I was put in leadership, like absolute leadership of the company, sort of like a president, okay? But what the other names that can be for the top, it can't stop at creative director, and then design-wise only, there can be design director. On top of that, possibly is vice president of design. So I'm giving you like a whole hierarchy of the way a company can build itself. But that's why when I meet someone or there's a possibility of working with someone and I say art director or creative director, that word's getting interchanged a little bit. So a lot of content creators and people just doing media like this, like shooting media, doing maybe YouTube, will say creative director, and they're talking about creative director of content and not design. Okay, because in a straight up more of a graphic design agency, there can also be a creative director. In any case, let me attack the real question, which was it hard for me to get from here to there, here being designer to creative director, or to get to director? Okay, no, short answer, no, it's not easy. There's a lot of hard work. If I think about the amount of nights that I stayed after work or put extra time into a project, especially, well, no, throughout the whole process. I was gonna say, when you're in leadership, you definitely feel that pressure to stay late and make sure everything gets done, because you're responsible and you're the overseer of whatever is in your work scope. So of course, part of that, you know, big salary is getting paid to worry about all of that stuff. So it's kind of, I say this as a joke, but I always say cancel Christmas, because you're gonna be working very ridiculous hours. So you have to be very smart about how you use your time and how you execute being productive. So and in my last 10 years, I'd say I've been a lot better about trying to take apart what is busy work and what is real productivity, right? Because people always say they're busy, but that might not be me, but that might not be moving the needle for the company, right? So the process of getting from designer to creative director was insane. First of all, I'll say this. I never thought that I would be a creative director or a design director. It was not my goal. When I was 18, met a designer, saw this life, and I was like, that's it. I want to become, my goal from 18 all the way through, I thought to the very happy end was gonna be, I'm gonna work for like 5, 6 different companies and learn and learn and learn, and then launch my own line and become a millionaire. That's what I thought was gonna happen, literally. It's funny, I laugh at it now because my path has taken so many turns. And while a lot of those turns have been super depressing and very low times for me, like splitting the beans and eating top ramen, honey buns and Doritos type of moments, there's been a lot of high highs, and now I'm at a point in my career, and it's really hard to gain all the experiences that I have without going through those low lows. So to get to designer to creative director, if you're a student or if you're in your career and you're looking to really move up to leadership, there's a couple points that I want to bring, which is the real reason I'm making this video. And I want to say that, number one, it's a different skill set than being a great designer. So my goal when I was 18 to my 20s was become the best apparel designer I could possibly be. Okay? That was my goal. And so that's a separate goal than being a good creative director, because you need the skill set, or you need to be aware of the skill set of not only your designers, but production. Okay? And I'm talking specifically about apparel. So if you're watching this video and you feel clickbaited because maybe you want to do agency work, I'm making the difference here, and I'm saying talking specifically about apparel lines and clothing companies. Okay, so you need to know the design process for apparel. You got to know that really well. And I mean, 9 times out of 10 it's a designer who gets put into that position, but just know that the mentality is different, right? So if I come into work and I'm a designer, I just want to knock out the best designs possible and put the best collections together cohesively for the brand. When I wake up in the morning and I'm a creative director, there's way more things on the plate than that. And so what I want to say is, the mind state of a creative director is definitely more leadership based. Okay, you need to have knowledge of every single operation within your work scope, right? Within the aesthetic visuals of the company that you're putting together. So that might be production, and then definitely design, but within design there could be apparel design and then graphic design, and your marketing guy might be a designer if digital marketing owns one of your graphic designers. You just have to hone all of that together and know how it works together, because at the end you're the leader, right? And again, there's companies that divide this in a couple different ways. I just want to make sure I have a good bird's eye view of like everything in the process, in case I work for a company and they have a different layout, which is 99% of the time what's going to happen. Everything's going to be different. So when you're on the onboarding process of trying to figure out how you can be the best leader for that particular company, it's going to be different than your last company. So you have to keep that in mind. So again, the mentality of a creative director or even an art director is much different than a designer. So know that. While I was learning everything in design, I was watching the people who are above me in leadership, and you know, I would think of things in what they're trying to accomplish and say, how could I do that easier? Like how can you do that and make it easier? How can you do that and make it more efficient? This is questions I always ask for everything. So when it comes to a process and you have a group and a team together and money behind it and a brand, it's functioning like an engine, you're just trying to figure out ways to maximize the potential of it. You want to cover more ground and do more work with less energy and less manpower or woman power, you know what I'm saying. So the mind state of a creative director or an art director, as you get more and more leadership, really also hinges on the way that you communicate with your team. Now, everyone's gonna have a manager that's a jerk. I've met a lot of designers that are in leadership, and you know, I mean, it's like a devil wears Prada type of situation. And you guys know me. If you're subscribed to the channel, you know me. And you could, this energy that I give you, that's the way I am when I'm working with a team. So it's nothing different. I don't become a huge jerk when I'm, you know, working with a team to try to get some seasons done for clothing. But some people choose to be really hard-edged, and that's their personality. A lot of companies will value that because if they crack a whip, they get it done that way. I have a different personality. I just like to take apart the science of the way it is, and things either need to get done or not done. Now, will I still fire someone? Absolutely. I will absolutely. I would fire my cousin if I had to, because to me, it's nothing personal. We have to get the right people. We have to get the best people, the most qualified on board. And then I'm very protective of my company culture and making sure the core people who are killing it for me and for the company stay happy. So that's part of my mental state. And then that's half of the game. The other half of the game is really producing a killer line. How do I define killer? Whoa, I'm going out of focus, guys. One way I define killer is definitely delivering a line that sells. Cool. So I hope that helps. I feel like my camera's going in and out because this is a long rant. Follow me on social media when you have a chance. I hope I gave you guys some good advice if you're looking to make that leap from design to more of the leadership side of things. And anything that you guys had in mind that I dropped in this video or you want to hear more about, please drop it all down below. Any comments, your situation, if you have a story to tell, drop it down below. We can have a conversation about it, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.